Well, among those now hospitalized, former GOP presidential hopeful and Atlanta resident Herman Cain. A statement posted to his Twitter account says he tested positive for coronavirus Monday, and by Wednesday, his symptoms were serious enough to require hospitalization. The 74-year-old is resting comfortably in an Atlanta hospital tonight and does not require a ventilator. The tweet also says there's no way to know for sure how or when he contracted the virus. But several people are pointing to Cain's attendance at President Trump's rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma back on June 20th. The conservative radio host and vocal Trump supporter posted photos from the event mask-free and sitting in the crowd. He also tweeted a reminder just yesterday that face coverings were not required for the president's Independence Day celebration at Mount Rushmore.